everyone, this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to The Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. We are picking up with Lady Galaxia, who has just prepared some nice food for her daughters who have moved into the castle. Now, I have been very lazy previously with getting anyone to make anything for the kids, and they tend to have problems with hunger. And we also know that the hunger bar can no longer be trusted, so I'm trying to put into practice having one of my adult Sims actually prepare food once a day and just leave it on the counter or on the table for the kids to pick themselves. Not in the fridge, because that does not help, I feel, unless something has changed. I don't feel like it helps preserve the food any longer, and plus everyone has to line up on the fridge to get the food, and it's just not working. And I'd rather they just make things and pop them on a table for the kids to grab. But there we go. She is making some stuff for her daughters. I'm excited because a bunch of things are now happening as a result of the dragons, the one and true proper dragons. Like since they've moved in, things are happening. Gears are moving. So Galaxia, she is going to just poof and put those down on the table. There we go. That's nice. And guys, the dragons are just so pretty. Like, I love the light blue eyes on their dark skin. It looks so good. So good. Now, this is, I think, the same skin tone that the Ranarains had for a long time. Yeah, which is kind of like a mid-brown, I suppose. It's, yeah, kind of like a mid-brown kind of tone, a dusky tone, which I like. But there we go. This is Elaine, the younger twin. And then her sister, Catherine, I think is somewhere in the throne room. She was chatting with Princess Eden. Yeah, she was chatting with Princess Eden. And you can see, she looks just as gorgeous as a sister. Now, we've had identical sets for literally all the twins that have been born. And then recently, Mirabella's twins, they aged up into toddlers, so I gave them makeovers as well. But they're identical. They have the dark blue eyes. The really pretty blue eyes that Saphira had in her dark form, the one that looks like gemstones. So they have that, and black hair. But I was going to say, for the dragons, they do look identical in every way except the eye shape. They actually have different eye shapes. I think Catherine has her mother's eye shape, Galaxia's, and then I think Elaine, the younger one in pink, has her father's eye shape. I might be mistaken, but her eyes look a bit more like Peyton, at least from what I can tell right now, while they're children. But okay, we are going to let everyone kind of go about and interact with each other. But what did we see in the movie? So the queen obviously has welcomed these youngsters in, and she's told everyone to be, you know, nice to them, make them, oh look, she's thinking about food. Nice, she's gonna eat some. To make their stay at Castle Aphrodite a good one. Because, you know, they are permanently joining the castle and now the coven properly. So it is an important thing and a big deal. And I feel like they didn't make this much effort for Lagatha and Meredith. They definitely did for the princesses, of course. I think for the princesses, it was less make them feel welcome because, you know, the princesses pretty much, as part of the royal family, kind of own this castle. So they themselves are making, you know, them at home. They don't need anyone else to make them feel at home. They are at home. This place belongs to them. Whereas the other kids, it's kind of the coven members' job. Or like their jobs to make them settled in. So Meredith and Lagatha, I don't feel like there was that big of a deal. The princesses, they kind of moved in and oh look, where's Elaine? Did you steal Elaine's? I suppose it's called sharing and caring. But yeah, they kind of figured themselves out, and now that these guys have moved in, the queen's telling everyone to make their stay very comfortable. And then she made that comment about them being from prized stock after all. Now, what did she mean by that? Well, who is this random chick? I don't even know. But, yeah, I don't know who she is. I don't know who she is. That aside, Catherine and Elaine. Let's see if we can show this. They have vampiric eyes, we know that, and they have sharp ears. Look at that. So according to, you know, the vampires, these guys, they are true vampires, unlike Meredith and Lagatha. They are not impures. They don't have tainted blood. So their social standing is going to be above their cousins. Now the dragons are already friends with the Dravagers. They already have a relationship because they are cousins, but we can already see that they're being treated differently. So how are they being treated differently? Well, we know Guinevere does not like the Dravagers whatsoever. And even if she has a positive relationship with them, she's totally being double-faced. I mean, she is quite mean to them in front of their faces, but then she has this pretense of niceness so that they tiptoe around her, and nobody kind of questions her intentions. So we already know that she does not like the Dravages, and, she calls them impures, which nobody else really does, even though that is kind of the truth. Oh, well, that people think they have tainted blood. That's what people say. I mean, their genetics are kind of proof of that. But nobody says it to their face, unlike Guinevere. She actually calls them impures. So Guinevere thought about it, and she kind of put up a fuss when the dragons moved in. She went to Queen Aphrodite in private, I think before the dragons were brought in, and she made a complaint that there is nowhere for the dragons to sleep. I mean, the princesses can't share their quarter. Like, they can't share their chamber, and there's not enough room in the Dravage chamber for the dragons to sleep. And that's not proper because, the dragons, they are pure vampires, like the princesses. So they have to pay attention to these things, because what will people say? Right? She made this fuss to Queen Aphrodite. And we know that Aphrodite gets influenced by people around her, and she likes pleasing people around her. So the queen asked, well, what can be a solution to that? Maybe we can try and rush like a construction of a new chamber for them to be able to use. And Guinevere quickly put that idea to a stop. She said, no. You don't need to go through the trouble of building a new chamber. Plus, that's going to take too long. Instead, why don't you give the dragons the chamber that the Dravages use right now? I'm sure the Dravages won't mind because they are cousins after all. And then, since the Dravages are going to be having their birthdays soon anyways, and then they'll be of age to use the coffins, they might as well just use the bunk beds in the prison. So this is the idea that Guinevere planted in the queen's head, and the queen, thinking nothing of it, because she did not consult anyone else on this. I mean, her daughter asked for it, so she's going ahead with it. She said, yeah, sure, that makes sense. If you don't mind, please let the Dravages know that their cousins will be taking their chamber. So Guinevere, with great pleasure, went to the Dravages, and she told them that, well, I am kicking you out of your chambers, and there is nothing you can do about it. So they are now sleeping in the prison cells upstairs, right next to the one their father was imprisoned in. So there's that going on. I have to say, I feel terrible for the Dravages, but I'm loving Princess Guinevere and all the crap she's getting up to. Like, Eden has done nothing so far except to be a sweetheart. She is just being a nice heiress, hanging around, being pleasant to everyone, but she's not playing politics. Her sister, though, is doing everything in her power to make the Dravages miserable. So, yeah, we've got that going on. Now, we do want to have the dragon readings lined up tonight. So probably are going to wait till the sun goes down before we do that. But that is going to be in the works for this episode. Now, we also did not in the previous episode, because I was really focused on, the whole change with the eyes. We didn't focus too much on Sophia and how she was getting along well with the others, and probably we'll have to mix that in with the dragons, because we have them as a new addition and all of that. But we now have a full household. Like, we will not have more Sims than this in our coven. So it'll be a great time to consolidate some relationships. In fact, I think we can get a head start on looking at some of this. Now, Elaine, I don't know much about what she's thinking. She has been chatting with Meredith and, some of the others. She was hanging around her mother earlier today. So she's been doing that, but, she wants to become friends with her Uncle Myron, but she already is friends with Uncle Myron. So there's, nothing really going on there that I could look to. I suppose the others, we could kind of revisit them when they come back from Academy. Now, also, some of you lovelies, said to me that the kids wearing the uniforms and going to academy is a Mount Komorebi thing because they were trying to copy like the system in Japan. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like a game-wide change, but apparently it's just for Mount Komorebi. But you know, I live in Australia and we have to wear uniforms to school. So I that's why I figured, like, did they finally just put uniforms in for schools because half the societies on the earth send their kids to school in uniforms? But no, it is apparently just specific to this world. It'd actually be cool if you could set, like, regardless of which world you're from, if you could set that for the kids, that they wear, like, whether or not they wear uniforms before they go to school. That'd be kind of cool. Anyways, while they're gone, we have the adults still with us. Yuki, she's doing some training. That's fine. Now, as for the birthdays, like, we have training day tomorrow, and then we have the Dravage birthdays on Saturday. So that might end up getting pushed to next episode. Most likely that is what will happen. This episode will probably just focus on the dragon readings and getting to know how everyone's adjusting to the new members in the coven. Okay, the queen wanted to be mischievous to Galaxia, so we can go do that. And Galaxia, she's just like stuck here. Let's scare her. That's a little bit of mischief. Let's scare her. They are really close. But, yeah, Galaxia, I think, is just stoked that her daughters have joined, and she's just been staring at that plate of food she made this whole morning, and both her daughters ate some of it, and she's just like wonderstruck. Really, Galaxia, you need to stop. You need to start acting like a vampire with authority. Okay, we'll leave that be. I'm really happy to see how close they have become. Like, this is good. Galaxia definitely needed to be noticed a bit more than she was beforehand. And actually, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it was definitely something on my mind. I feel as though Saphira, like, not being chosen as one of the Queen's advisors, as part of the Queen's council, like her right hand, this season, is probably a good thing, because with the amount of kids we have right now in the castle, I feel like Saphira would just be in a terrible mood all the time and she would just go crazy. So I don't think she would have the right mindset to be giving the Queen any sort of advice on anything. I feel like Galaxia is definitely going to be... Look, she's being, like, really angry. I mean, she already dislikes having to train for her role, which she does anyway, autonomously, but, like, she dislikes it. And then she dislikes kids, so I think she would be really riled up all the time, really angry. If she did advise the Queen on anything, it would probably be really, like, emotional decisions that aren't really well thought out and have a good outcome for anyone. So I think it's probably good that the more calm and balanced Galaxia is getting a chance at being the Queen's right hand during this period of time. Maybe during the next council reappointment things will change, because by that point we'll only have 2 kids. Actually, no. By that point, the last of the kids will have grown up into teens. So we'll have, like, the Dravagers having their birthday on Saturday, and then next week sometime, like in sim time, we'll have the princesses aging up into teens, and then the next council reappointment, the dragons are going to be aging up into teens. So, like, at that point, if Saphira regains the Queen's favor and, you know, becomes her right or left hand, then she will be back to her calm self. And there won't be, like, kids around to annoy her and make her feel more frustrated than she already is half the time. So I think things worked out for the better. But were you mischievous? How were you not? Hold on a second. She's having some problems. Galaxia, let's try not to be problematic. How can you can object to mischief? Well, that's silly. Let's, Describe apocalypse. Let's go do that. Okay, so Sophia's chatting with Queen and trying to get on the Queen's good side, which is nice to know. She's fostering good relations with the monarch, who, you know, is the sim that has employed her, so that totally makes sense. And the Queen is scaring Galaxia with talk of aliens and invaders and all those kind of things. Being all paranoid. Why not? Why not? Like, what if? What if? She's just talking about. Okay. I mean, now that Galaxia is, you know, her right hand, it kind of makes sense that she tells all of these ridiculous things to Galaxia to try and get her opinion on stuff. Okay, and then Saphira, she wants to be friendly with Lady Galaxia. So she is going not provoke her sister. She's going to discuss some logic puzzles. That's going to calm it down probably. Hopefully that calms it down. So every time, like Saphira, when she works out or she practices wellness, she gets very angry because she does not like that. Whereas when Galaxia does it, she feels, you know, calm, at peace. They're just opposites. They're complete opposites. Okay. Yeah, you chat with Galaxia and she will make you feel better. There we go. I think Saphira is a bit relieved to have a break as well. From responsibility, so that's good. Okay, Galaxia wanted to become, like, she wants to get to know Lagatha, which is quite nice. I feel like Galaxia, you know, as priestess is kind of perceptive, and she probably notices that Lagatha hangs around by herself a lot, and she probably wants, and actually she's a loner as well. So I think, out of all the adults, she probably understands Lagatha the best, and she probably wants to kind of just check in on Lagatha and see how she's doing, get to know her a little bit more. That's nice. That's very nice of her, like what's going on in Lagatha's mind, perhaps. That's cool. Now, Lady Sophia wants to be mean to Lady Galaxia, and at first I was very confused. I was like, why would she want to be mean to Galaxia? And remember in the last episode, we kind of talked about how with her mean trait, I feel as though that's more Lady Sophia, like being someone who's not shy to step up for what she believes in and to speak out when she feels as though something unjust is happening. Now, I feel as though the other vampires, like everyone at this point, they are aware of the change that has happened with the Dravage sleeping quarters, but they aren't doing anything about it. They're not doing anything about it because they kind of find the explanation behind it reasonable. So they're kind of fine to let the coven do what it wants. It's the coven's arrangement. Why question it? Whereas Sophia, I think, sees a problem that the Dravagers were kicked out of their chamber quite rudely, so that the dragons could sleep there. And she has nothing against the dragons, but the dragons are Galaxia's children. Even Galaxia didn't speak out and say, no, my daughters can share the quarters with their cousins or something like that, or they can wait until, like, we can find temporary arrangements for them until we build them a new chamber. She didn't step in and say any of that. She was kind of happy to let the Dravagers be kicked out so that her daughters could take their place. And Sophia was not happy with that. She felt as though that was unfair. And so I think that's why she wants to be mean to Galaxia. She's kind of speaking out that something does not make sense. So she's going to insult, I think. She's probably not going to yell at, but I think she's going to insult Galaxia's lack of discipline. That she's not teaching her children well. She should, as priestess, have foresight and such, and lead them down the right path, but she's not doing that. and Sophia does not approve. So she is going to make her opinion known. Like, if anyone could have challenged the queen's decision, it would have been Galaxia. One, because she is the queen's right hand. The queen would have listened to her. Perhaps even over her own daughter. And also, she is the mother of the dragons, so she could have, appeased them and told them that, I'm sorry, but we don't have arrangements. Just bear with us while we figure this out. So, there we go. There we go. Now the queen's asking her a question. I don't know what about. But they're chatting with each other. Hopefully it's a positive chat. But yes, the queen kind of just came in as Sophia was telling off Galaxia, or complaining to Galaxia. And this should... that should have counted. So I don't know what's going on with that. It should count. For some reason it did not, but I suppose sometimes it just doesn't register. And then she spoke a little bit to the queen, so I don't know what's going on now. She's like, don't nap in their quarters. You literally have your own bed. You have your own bed. Nap in your own bed if you want. Okay, the kids are back from academy. Seriously, nap in your own bed if you want. Actually, Galaxia, she wanted to speak to Lagatha, that's right. So let's see if we can go and speak to Lagatha once the kids get inside. Look at this! That's one of the cool things, I suppose, about having all the kids really close together. And having multiples close together is that we get to see them interact with each other in the same age group. Because normally, the ages are staggered so much, they don't get too close to one another. But that's different. Are they tired? Are they going to bed? Oh, they're going to bed! Everyone's tired, they're going to bed. Oh, that's so cute. That is just so cute. Okay, well, if they're going to bed, I suppose I will not stop them. Maybe we can pick up later. What happened to the food? Where'd the food go? Was the food put in the fridge? No? Was it disposed of? Well, Galaxia is kind of like a resident cook at this point. She has the highest cooking skill. So why don't we make something for the kiddies now that they're back from academy? Let's make some of this. This thing that I cannot pronounce. We'll make that. Let's go do that. Come on. We'll go make that. I think it's like cheesy buns or cheesy bread, something like that. Yeah, we'll do some cooking. So when they wake up from their slumber, no doubt they're going to be hungry. Instead of eating, fast food or whatnot, they can come eat whatever it is that Galaxia has made. Look at her. Look at her. Okay, that's nice and well. Does she even feel bad for them? She wants to speak to Lagatha, but I don't know if she actually feels bad for them. Maybe not. I feel like no matter how nice the vampires are, they will always be kind of like a level of superiority that they have. And like a level of division between the impures and the pure vampires. And that comes out especially if, they are their children. Hold on a second. What is this? Okay, they are cheesy buns. Nice, nice. Now I want some cheesy buns. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'll leave that there. She's gonna go practice some dots. These guys are chatting with each other. Yuki's quite sad. What is this? Discuss fears after fulfilling wants. What does that mean? Is there enough time for me to fulfill your dreams? Maybe sharing these fears with someone close will help. Okay. Yeah, so some of them, they've started having fears. But like Galaxia has fears of unfulfilled dreams. So does Saphira. So does Yuki. And I don't know what's bringing that about. For Yuki, we kind of discussed it was probably because she never got to pass on the Noxar name. For Saphira, I wonder what that could be. Do you guys have any clue as to what that might be? Interesting. Very interesting. I'm not entirely sure in Saphira's case. And neither am I in Galaxia's case. Like, why would she feel that way? I don't know. I feel like everything for her has been going to plan. Like, everything's been going very well for her. So I'm not entirely sure what might bring that about. Okay, well, are they awake? Who's awake and who's sleeping? Okay, Elaine is awake. Really, you should be eating instead of going and doing whatever the heck you're doing. Catherine wanted to become friends with Princess Eden. Actually, a lot of the Sims are driven to Princess Eden, which is quite nice. Let's, brighten her day, give her a heartfelt compliment. Let's, enthuse about candy. We will enthuse about meal. Now, the traits. Sorry, traits for these girls, because I just did not even pay attention to that. Catherine is a bookworm. So she is definitely someone who enjoys reading, acquiring knowledge, is what I imagine. And I think she loves learning. That's what I see. Oh, geez. Hold on a second. Their eyes get all weird when they change into their uniforms. I didn't realize that. Let's change everyone back. It's cold, isn't it? It's cold. We'll change everyone's outfit to their cold wear so that they don't freeze. Okay, let's change. Let's change. Change. Even you guys. Oh, they're in their bunks. This is sad. This is very sad. Fine. When you wake up, then we'll change you guys. But Catherine, yeah, I imagine she just loves learning. And I think that's actually really cool. That it is something she's drawn to. And I imagine as a result of that, she might get along very well with Yuki. Because, you know, Yuki's the scholar. So I suppose we'll see how that goes. But yeah, she does enjoy learning quite a bit. And then her sister Elaine is a genius. So Elaine is actually very, very intelligent. And that makes me wonder how her relationship with Guinevere is going to be. Because I have mentioned before that I see evilness, or I can see evil people being very intelligent. Because I feel like it's very easy to be good and pleasant and nice. It's like natural, right? It doesn't take a lot of effort to be kind to people. But in order for you to conspire against them, to harbor complicated feelings like hate, I feel, it takes a lot of thinking and a lot of effort and a lot of planning. So I feel like people, like evil people, can be very, very smart, can be very intelligent, but Elaine is very, very smart. She's a genius without any of the evilness. So I actually wonder if she would notice the way Guinevere treats everyone, and she would be wary of that, or if she would kind of accept Guinevere's ways and kind of side with her. I'm very curious to see how that is going to play out. Like, the others might not notice that Guinevere is evil because she's double-faced, I feel. But Elaine might know. I don't think Guinevere is going to be able to hide her true nature from Elaine. She's sharp like that. She's intelligent. She connects the dots very easily. And if there is any sort of, politics going on, then it's not going to be that easy to lead her astray, I feel. Whereas Catherine might not notice much because I feel like her head would be in the books most of the time. So, yeah, I've got that going on. We've got that going on. But okay, I should probably get the girls ready for their reading, and then we shall resume. Okay, the kids along with our priestess are outside at 9:40 p.m. It is time for us to have the dragon readings and see what the final children of this coven of this next generation are going to have written in their future. So our priestess is going to drink her potion, her dreaming potion, which is a bit different to the berries because we don't have the berries right now. But that's fine. She's going to drink this, and then she is going to get started with the older child of hers, because these are her children, yes. She is going to, if possible, let's see, talk about dreams, and then we're going to look at the first 3 signs, the first 3 bubbles that pop up on top of her head, not her daughter's, her head. So here we go. Let's see. What are the signs for Catherine? Oh, evil. That is definitely evil because the evil trait has that symbol. So evil, or I suppose evilness, whatever, evil. Oh my goodness, this is the first time I think I've ever received that sign. Okay. I mean, the only thing I can think of right now is Guinevere because she's the only evil one we have. I mean, I would have thought of Mirabella if Mirabella was around, but like she's dead. So, okay. Evilness is the first sign. This does not bode well. What is the next sign? We're ignoring Catherine. We're looking at the priestess because she's the one who can see. She's the one who can perceive. Oh, what's that? I mean, insects? Like, no insects? Huh. What could that... Is there another way I could phrase that, maybe? I don't know. I suppose... Like, I don't know if that would count as vermin. Probably not. I suppose we'll go with insect. You guys can be as metaphorical as you want with this. But... Or pests. Maybe pests? Maybe we say that? Like, no pests? Okay. So... No pests? Or anti-pest? Maybe anti-pest? Why don't we go for that? I like that better. So, evil, anti-pest, and what is the third sign? These are all very interesting and different, because I have not worked with these before. And the third sign for Catherine is going to be what? And note that Catherine is the priestess in line. Oh. Vampire, I suppose? Fangs or vampire? I'm gonna go with vampire, because those are like fanged lips. So, I'll interpret that as vampire. Okay. These are some interesting signs for Catherine. So, oh, geez. I don't even know what to think, guys. Okay, let's recap the signs for Catherine Dragon. So, she has received evil, anti-pest, and vampire. So, guys, make sure you jump down in the comments and let me know your predictions for each of these signs so that I can add it to my Google document, and in the next generation, when I'm making the stories for her, I can use your predictions as inspiration for the stories. I can use them to help me build, her future. So you guys are kind of helping me write it. Okay, that was very interesting. I mean, the one thing that the anti-pest I'm not sure about, but I'm just gravitating towards Guinevere. Like, I feel like her signs are pointing to Guinevere. This is very concerning. Okay, she is gonna step out of the way now. I think you step out of the way, honey. It is now your sister's turn. Yep, you step here and you just watch. And now Elaine is going to step up. Come on, Elaine. It's your turn. Now, if anything, like, Elaine's the one that I would have thought maybe had any sort of connection to Guinevere, like I said, because she's a genius and Guinevere is evil, and I feel like both traits are markers of like high intelligence, obviously with the genius, but I feel like evilness as well is a mark of high intelligence. So yeah, like sinister intelligence, but still intelligence. So if anything, I would have thought maybe Elaine would have had a connection to that, but no, it was Catherine. What about Elaine then? How's things gonna be for Elaine? Now we might have to wait a bit before we can talk about dreams again. I suppose it makes sense because, you know, the priestess, I feel, is kind of recuperating after she's read like one child's future, or read their signs. She needs to recuperate before she can tap into her powers and speak of dreams again. So that's fine. We'll just speed through for another hour or so and hope that... Oh, it looks like Yuki and the alchemist are getting along quite well. Okay, and now we can speak about dreams. So let's focus in on Galaxia and see what signs Elaine is going to get. I'm nervous now. Okay, they need to hug. Of course they do. They need to hug. That is fine. Okay, what? Dragon? Dragon. Okay. So dragon's the first sign. Now, their last name is Dragon, so that does make sense. But also, guys, remember Guinevere also had the sign Dragon? It's like everything's connected? Okay, anyways, I need to stop freaking out. Okay, Dragon is Elaine's first sign. What is her second sign? What is her second sign? Come on, Galaxia. Positive things would be great. Let's see. Let's see. Galaxia, focus. Elaine. The second sign is Elaine. Okay. Elaine. So she is her own sign. This is interesting because right now she's following very much Guinevere's signs. Like Guinevere, her first two signs were Dragon and Guinevere. And then Elaine's first two signs are Dragon and Elaine. I read patterns, guys? Patterns? Am I the only one? Okay, what is the third sign? Give us the third sign. What do we feel about the third sign? What is in this genius child of yours? And what is in her future? Let's see. Ignore Elaine. She's throwing a lot of bubbles in the air. Don't distract me, honey. Oh, Sun? I don't know how to feel about that because traditionally Sun has been very dangerous for us, for the vampires. But okay. Okay then. Sun. So, let's flip and recap the signs that Elaine has received. So, our precious Elaine has received the signs Dragon, Elaine, and Sun. So do the exact same thing I said with Catherine. Jump down in the comments, let me know what you guys think these signs mean, what are your predictions, and then we'll see how what you guys say help me shape, how it all helps me shape the stories these younglings will have in the next generation. Okay. It's kind of scary. Whenever we get a sun sign, that's very scary because typically sun used to result in death for vampires, and sun, you know, typically means death. So, yeah. Things are looking rough. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.